guys, it's Bunnymon and welcome to today's video and welcome to another WWE reaction. This video is made by Parts Fun Known and it is called 12 Greatest Surprise Returns and Debuts in WrestleMania History. I will be live streaming WrestleMania Day 1 and Day 2, or Night 1 and Night 2, both on my Bunnymon channel. Is this one on YouTube, so make sure if you have nothing else to do, tune in. I will be live reacting there, although I will not be sharing the screen or the music or the sound on the live event, but I will be pre-recording that and then I will edit them together and have them as a normal reaction on my Patreon. Because YouTube doesn't allow that. No. That is it. Let's go and check out 12 greatest surprise returns and debuts in WrestleMania history.
Kings and queens and in-betweens, you have just bared witness to a WrestleMania moment. Patent, copyright, trademark. And just in case you didn't know you were seeing one, they would be sure to tell you. WrestleMania moments come in all forms, but one that has become much more commonplace in the last decade plus has been the lovely lads and lasses of WWE making an unexpected appearance. So much so that people are now able to look forward to such a surprise on the level of a WrestleMania match and entrance and other assorted pageantry. Next week, we'll talk about all the best debuts from after WrestleMania, but for now, I'm Tempest hailing from Parts Fun Known, and these are the 12 greatest surprise returns and debuts in WrestleMania history.
Before
we get on with this list, please make sure, of course, that you like this video, subscribe, and enable notifications to always on so you never miss a WrestleMania list just like it. We've done a lot of them this past month, so make sure you check them out. Honorable mention, Steve Austin, WrestleMania 38. An honorable mention in the sense that it wasn't much of a surprise that the Texas Rattlesnake returned to Texas to take part in the Kevin Owens show, but even with the rumors of Steve Austin's
I did react to this in the bell. I think it was Bell to Bell, Steve Austin, or a different type of doco about him. And apparently this return was not that hyped. They wish that they had it more like promotional and more stuff, because it was supposed to be just them sitting there and then they ended up into a fight and that was it. And people say that it was amazing, but the fact that they didn't milk it more. And I'm like, how did they not? It's Austin. Like, why did you not do that?
Return 19 years after his last match, it had to be seen to be believed. Suplex on the floor. I still can't believe I saw that. Number 12, Bray Wyatt, WrestleMania 34. Taking the bottom spot, as it only took place on the pre-show, is Bray Wyatt, fresh off his soak in the lake of reincarnation. But whereas most emerge from the lake infused with a character from yesteryear, Bray simply emerged as a good boy, helping his former rival and now friend Woken Matt Hardy to win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It's a fun spot, and it's as much a payoff to this rivalry as we were going to get. The only quasi-negative about this is you can tell that the crowd were not quite sure if Bray Wyatt teleporting into the ring meant he was also in the match or not, and thus the reaction to Matt winning is a tad delayed, but I mean, oh well. Number 11, Matt Hardy, WrestleMania 24. Speaking of Matt Hardy, this may not be Matt's biggest return to WrestleMania, and we'll get to that, but Matt Hardy's surprise run-in during the Money in the Bank ladder match was one of the best moments of a very good ladder match. When the answer of whether or not MVP and Matt Hardy could coexist turned out to be a resounding no, Matt ended up on the shelf for over 4 months. In his absence, MVP continued his reign as US champion and qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match, which he seemed poised to win when the crowd all started rising to their feet, and through that crowd came the returning Matt Hardy to hit a twist of fate from the top of the ladder and scurry away into a sea of Hardy chants. Number 10, John Cena, WrestleMania 32 and 35. I was gonna say Wabadu, but there really isn't an equivalent for the Doctor of Thugonomics, is there? As John Cena drifted closer and closer to a part-time schedule, his appearances at WrestleMania became a bit more varied. At Mania 32, he made a surprise return in the middle of his recovery from injury to help former foe The Rock ward off the Wyatt family. But by Mania 35, Super Cena was well beyond his days as a full-time wrestler, thus making his return all the more surprising and... I'm sorry. What the f are you wearing, John? I seem to recall you once punching a man for comparing you to the New York Yankees, and now you're repping them? And you're from Boston? Couldn't be me, but like a broken needle, that is missing the point. Cena put a stop to
I literally thought it was my side. Like, my video just broke. It's like, oh no, here we go again. I have to restart my router.
His WrestleMania concert in one of the more lively moments of the second half of the never-ending WrestleMania 35. Word life. Number 9, Bianca Belair, WrestleMania 36. The first debut on this list, and had it been in front of people, I reckon this would be even higher. Bianca Belair had done just about everything there was to do in NXT except win the women's title. How that never happened will forever be beyond me, and her arrival on the main roster was inevitable. But rather than have her debut on what would have been the most lifeless Raw after WrestleMania in history, she got to make her debut at WrestleMania itself. It may also have been the most lifeless WrestleMania in history, but I don't care, it is a step up. Bianca arrives and helps the Street Profits fend off Zelina Vega's duo of Angel Garza and Andrade. What? It wasn't Andrade. Austin Theory took Andrade's place? That can't be right.
I have no idea.
Well, son of a bitch.
I am not in it.
I mean, that doesn't seem right, but moving on. Bianca may not have had the most eventful 2020, and her on-screen partnership with the Street Profits may have been short-lived, but this will always be seen as the night that one of the most important stars in WWE history set foot on the main stage for the first time. Number 8, the NWO, WrestleMania 31.
Oh, some of you have been recommending for me to react to the NWO. A lot of those comments were like, react to the whole documentary to learn more about it, and they were like, even in their name, they had NWO, like for life and stuff like that, especially on Patreon. People really love it. I have no idea what it is, but right now I'm into WrestleMania, so after WrestleMania I will be checking that for sure.
Is a silly match, and it is a silly match that makes considerably less sense the more you think about it. In WWE's attempt to shove this square-shaped match into a WWE versus WCW round hole, they neglected nearly all logic by having the original trio of the NWO even the odds to save Sting from DX. Now, your educated WCW fans will point out that the NWO and Sting being on the same side is blasphemy on the highest level, and they are right. But this is the time when the just have fun with it crowd is actually bang on the money. Sting versus Triple H is very silly, but it is also a fun smoke and mirrors match with cameos galore and X-Pac bumping for the old-timers in the most spectacular way possible.
Love old-timers appearing.
The finish is offensive in the highest order, but seeing the NWO and DX square off was a sight most Attitude Era fans would have spent years dreaming about, even if in their dreams they all probably had a bit more hair. Number 7, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Steve Austin, WrestleMania 32. From one group of WWE Hall of Famers to another, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Steve Austin answering the challenge of the League of Nations earns its place on this list almost entirely for the pop that Steve Austin's music gets. Like, I will go back and watch fan cams of this entrance just for that reaction. Texas loves their Steve Austin, man. The League of Nations beating the New Day doesn't make any f***ing sense, but it does lead to Shawn Michaels twerking in the ring at WrestleMania. So I guess every good thing comes at a price. Number 6, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, WrestleMania 32. Fast forward 2 hours, God, this show is f***ing long, and you will reach the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal circa 2016. Probably the Mania Battle Royal with the most surprises of any of them. This match starts off with the returns of Diamond Dallas Page and Tatanka, two people I'm sure everyone in Dallas thought they were going to see when they bought their tickets, and the long-awaited in-ring debut of future AEW star Shaquille O'Neal. Ultimately, this was the closest we ever got to a Big Show Shaq match, even if their interaction here was very brief. But of course, the most memorable surprise of this match came in the form of its eventual winner, NXT call-up Baron Corbin. NXT hype was at a fever pitch at this time, especially one day removed from the spectacular TakeOver Dallas, so having a new guy that people were excited to see get to win his debut match at WrestleMania definitely makes this debut stand out from the rest. Like a lone wolf, if you will. Number 5, Ronda Rousey, WrestleMania 31. Back when Ronda Rousey was still the baddest woman on the planet.
I know who Ronda is, but I literally know nothing about her character in WWE. Not yet, at least. Like, there's a lot of names here. I'm like, what? Yeah, this bunny has a lot yet to learn.
An undefeated UFC megastar, her appearance at WrestleMania 31 felt like the biggest sports celebrity wrestling moment WWE had put on in years. After one of The Rock's many WrestleMania returns, the Authority tried to ruin
He really loves to return to WrestleMania.
Their ring, boo hiss, only for him to enlist the help of his future Furious 7 co-star Rowdy Ronda Rousey. This was a different Ronda than the one we saw just a few years later, and a much different Ronda from the one that we last saw in WWE. She stood in the ring with Trips, Steph, and Big Dwayne and felt like the biggest star of the bunch before taking out the Authority. And you know, I often wonder what Ronda's WWE career would have looked like if Holly Holm hadn't knocked her the f*** out. Definitely would have seen this tag match, I tell you that. Number 4, Miss Elizabeth, WrestleMania 7. I mean, it's only one of the most emotional WrestleMania moments of these last 39 years. And honestly, what I love about it is it starts off so subtle.
I saw this
This
one.
isn't someone sat in the front row of TakeOver standing up to get their ovation. Gorilla Monsoon is just running down the next match, and Bobby Heenan seems genuinely distracted, looking into the crowd before finally saying, "I think I see Elizabeth," before a cameraman rushes to get a shot of
she
her.
was
It's
there.
as if she really showed up on her own accord to see what would happen to the man she had so much history
No,
with.
it
It's
was
great.
scripted.
Love that.
Because you
But
know what
then we all
happened
know
at the
what
end.
happened next. The Ultimate
Yeah.
Warrior kicked out of 5 straight elbow drops, asked God for help, then pinned Macho Man with a boot on his chest. A series of events that rightfully made Queen Sherry pretty upset. But just as she
My
took
God,
her anger out,
literally, Queen Sherry or whatever, the Queen of Wrestling. Whew! She got so much on my nerves in this match, and I'm so happy that Elizabeth threw her out, and I was like literally in tears when I saw the ending. It was so romantic. I wish they had more stories like this.
on Savage, who should run down to make the save but Miss Elizabeth. The pair reunite as fans are shown crying in the crowd, and it's just
A lot of
perfect.
women
It
crying,
is a perfect
yeah.
bit of pro wrestling, and
Even
one
though-
of the moments that helped shape WrestleMania into what it is today. Number 3,
Yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 8. I mean, if you ignore everything that precedes this return, it sure is
Ooh, I
great.
watched
The
this
main
one,
event
it's
of Mania 8
amazing.
is wretched, with Hogan
Dude,
and Sid
I literally thought Hulk Hogan is gonna be winning, but seeing Ultimate Warrior's performance and everything, this guy was on a whole new level. Oh my God, he was amazing there.
sitting in nerve
You
holds
have
for
to watch
12
this
minutes,
one.
Harvey Whippleman causing a DQ, Papa Shango running in late, and the whole thing being an unmitigated disaster. But as soon as that iconic music hit, the Hoosier Dome came alive to see the return of the Ultimate Warrior. There
Oh,
he
this is
goes,
not the
running
one
fast
I
and
watched,
hard.
no.
You'd really think that given this was his entrance for his entire
I don't
career,
remember.
he probably would have thought to work on his cardio, because that lad was blown the up when he got to the ring. It didn't take away from the moment, however, as this was as loud as Indianapolis had been all night. A top-tier main event star making the return as the final happening of WrestleMania. That is something that has not happened since, but would always be guaranteed to create an ultimate WrestleMania moment. Number 2, Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 38. Adrenaline in my soul.
not 39?
Here's AEW
Interesting.
Cody Rhodes. It will never, ever stop being surreal to me that after everything that happened in the life and career of Codicius Rhodes from 2016 to 2022,
Codicius
we
Rhodes.
not only saw him walk the aisle at WrestleMania once more, but we saw him do it as the American Nightmare. Sure, this was basically an open secret by the time we got to WrestleMania, with Cody's AEW departure being heavily publicized and his WWE return being considered a matter of when rather than if, but a new main event player returning to the company as a mystery opponent in one of the biggest matches of WrestleMania was something that had never happened before, and it remains one of the greatest game-changing moments of this era of WWE. Add in the fact that the match he had with Seth Rollins was fantastic, and the completely new approach of allowing Cody to retain 100% of his AEW presentation, and this is a WrestleMania return that is rivaled only by one. And number 1, the Hardys, WrestleMania 33. At WrestleMania 33, Broken Matt and Brother Nero completed their expedition of gold in the biggest way possible. It is my personal headcanon that when the Hardys teleported away from Impact, they really did get lost in time-space with the lone goal to capture Tag Team Gold. They found themselves in Ring of Honor and eventually atop a ladder at WrestleMania once again. I wish I had the video of my friends and I reacting to this moment to hand. Not only because we lost our minds to the extent that I lost my voice for 3 days,
Oh
but
my
because
God,
we were
that must be
fortunate enough to miss
amazing.
Michael Cole's vintage call. Not only is this the greatest surprise return in WrestleMania history, but this is one of the greatest surprise returns in WWE history, period.
Really?
For a building without a roof to have gotten this loud just goes to show the love wrestling fans had for Matt and Jeff Hardy and how big
I love
a deal
that he said the building without a roof, because I remember when it was in Australia, the event when Rhea Ripley appeared and she comes from there, that's her home. And we didn't hear the crowd as loud. I was even saying, I was live reacting to that on this channel. And I was saying, oh my God, like, are they even excited that much? Like, they don't seem like they are. And then people in the chat were saying, Bunny, it's open roof. When it's open roof, you don't hear it as loud as, for example, in SmackDown and Raw and other events. Dying. Literally, whenever I speak, I'm dying.
It was to see them return to WWE after 7 and 9 years respectively. Also, this meant Jeff Hardy finally got his first Mania win. And ain't that just dandy? And that's our list. Please make sure, of course, that you like this video, subscribe, and enable notifications to always on so you never miss a fun list just like...
That was amazing! Thanks so much for sharing. Let me see some of the comments. Sweet Faux Fighters references Tempest Respect. I have no idea what you're talking about. You guys know? Finally got my ticket yesterday and I can't wait to go to my first WrestleMania. You are so lucky. If I was living in America, I definitely would be there. Yeah, but for me to go from Germany there, and nah, that's a lot of money. Can't afford it. I don't know why it makes me so happy that my favorite WrestleMania surprise was #1 on this list, but I was there and boy did I get emotional. That is so amazing how everyone is so wholeheartedly into WrestleMania and they have their own favorite wrestlers and they get so emotional with these surprises and shocks. It's just something that adds to life and I love it. Like, it's not important, it's entertainment after all, you know, like favorite series or a favorite movie that you watch, but still it leaves a huge impact on our lives somehow, and it connects us together into this common theme of loving WWE and pro wrestling. But that is it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. This was amazing. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like it and copy the link. You don't have to share it anywhere, but copying the link helps the channel. If you want to check out my WrestleMania reactions, you can always go to my Patreon, patreon.com/support bunny. I also have a second channel where I do live reactions. I don't react to WWE, I react to various content like TNTL or drama, news, and stuff like that are funny mostly and light-hearted. The channel name is Bunnymon TV, as well as my Twitch streams are Bunnymon TV. So if you are interested, you can check all of those out. I will leave a link in the description down below. Okay, have a wonderful day. See you. Bye!